Thank you.
Shh. Okay, somebody else pick. Can they hear this?
Hey guys, we have a new challenger.
Oh my God, is this thing on?
This mic is precarious. It's very high, and the XLR is about to crack. Oh wait, no, if we move this way, yes, perfect. I have an engineering degree. Hi guys. Introduce yourself. Oh, my name is Max Middleman. I'm cool. My name is Ray Chase. I'm a voice actor. Yay, boo. Play Noctis in Final Fantasy, Roy from Fire Emblem, and I hate Velvet from Tales of Berseria. Lots of stuff.
Looks like we just cut to the chase.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Haven't heard that before. So I guess. You can leave, yeah, you can just leave.
One voice actor eliminated.
Who will be next on the voice acting challenge?
I thought about what I said and I was wrong and I'm very, very sorry. No dad jokes. I'm seeing hands.
Yes, yeah, we had, yes, hi.
These two questions are for Christina B, Scott McNeil, and Paul St. Peter.
Oh, I'll stay then, thank you.
We probably don't need the last names at this point. I think we're all friends at this point.
You know, people get Christina and me mixed up all the time, you know? So you need to use the last names, I get that, but by now we all know each other well enough.
They both have dancer legs.
Christina,
Yes.
how was it like when you did your take on Fujiko Mine, when you did your take on Fujiko in
Oh, and Lupin.
Lupin the Third, the Jenkins grave?
Sure. It was pretty nerve-wracking if I'm being TBH. Because she's such a well-established character, and a lot of my favorite voice actresses have played her in the past, and when they called me into audition for it, it was just kind of one of those surreal moments, and then they cast me as her, and then, she was naked for most of the movie, so that was interesting too. But yeah, it's really cool to be able to play a character that I grew up with, and I'm glad I got to have a turn as her.
And Scott, you voiced when I was a kid, you used to voice Rat Trap in Beast Wars.
Mm-hmm.
What was the funniest part? What was your most hilarious line that you did when you voiced Rat Trap?
It doesn't involve farting? That show was unbelievably fun to work on. Because the writing on it was brilliant, the cast in it was great. I had fun because I played 4 of the main characters on it, so it would be okay, Scott's got one of his scenes coming up. And it would just be, live. It was even so infirm. One more crack like that and I will take you out the old-fashioned way. Brutally! You willing to see you try it there, Dino Boob? What should I say? I know. Shut up, Red Trap. Look at it. And then, where's Benito coming? Where's Benito? Never get to fight for anything. Where's Benito? Has a headache in his whole body. And then Silverbolt, strong, proud, brave, and smart like a bag of hammers. So, that's basically what it's like on the inside of my head, but I got to wear it on the outside. It's noisy. So, in other words, I had a ball. That was like playing on the monkey bars all day.
And Paul.
What?
Yes, my son. When you're St. Peter, you say, yes, my son.
And of course, during my childhood, you voiced the Digimon Leomon, and of course Wormmon and Stingmon. But you notice that Leomon is notorious for dying in a lot of the.
Well, my very first series was Robotech, and that was, I played Zor Prime in the second chapter called Southern Cross. Episode 25, I blew myself up in a spaceship. I didn't know that was going to be the pattern of my career, because almost everything I do, I get killed. And yes, the first time that happened, I got, sucker punched as Leomon, and I was on the ground, and I think I said something like, remember, you're a lion, you have a lion's heart. And I went, oh, and I I thought, oh man. And they said, no, he's coming back. Don't worry about it.
Like, you also voiced another lion character in One Punch Man as the Beast King.
Beast King, yes.
I found it very, like, when I first heard your voice as the Beast King, I felt like you were voicing another lion character, and he dies again.
Oh, yeah, and the thing was, when they brought me in, they said, oh, here's a picture of your character. I looked at it and I said, okay, just a minute. You know. It's almost identical to Leomon, and I said, well, I know what voice I'm using too. And yep, they killed me one episode. Dead. You know.
Oh, you're welcome.
How many punches did it take to defeat him?
As usual. In the back there, sir, with the red stripe.
This is a question for Scott. Many years ago at Chaoticon, I asked you a question regarding a role that was featured on the Wikipedia page, which says Duratan on World of Warcraft World of Warcraft, and you had a rather whimsical look.
Oh, that's right, because I wasn't allowed to say anything back then. All I need is a fellow warrior at my side and a wolf at my back. That is correct. Oh, yes. Now, keep in mind, I have been playing that game every day of my life for the last 10 years. I was busting. I was just like going, I can't say anything, I can't say anything, I can't say anything. And then I had to stop playing the game because I was in it. It was like, But that was my big exciting news that year.
Quick story. I played a character in World of Warcraft as well, and my brother plays it a lot. And I came home one day and walked into his room, and my voice was coming out of his computer. And I walked up behind him, and as my character was like, it was Prince Verandus, and as my character was like, save us, and then I'd walk up behind him and be like, save us. And I would just echo all of the lines that came out of the computer, and after about 3 or 4 lines, he's like, is that you? And I was like, yeah, bro, it's me.
Yeah, you know what I do for a living, right?
Yeah. So that was fun.
And I just did some more stuff for a while too, which I'm really excited about. And another really cool one that I can't talk about at all, although it might take place in rural Montana.
Oh, nice.
And I'm pretty stoked about that.
Where men are men and sheep are nervous. Yes, right there, please.
Yeah.
Okay, so one, I know you played the voice of Noah Vermillion in Blaze Blue.
Yes.
Right? Well, what character would you rather play besides Noah?
If I could be anybody differently in Blaze Blue, Kokonoe. Yeah, she's cool. I mean, but I can't be too greedy because I played, 5 characters? So, yeah, I play like Noelle and Moo and Nu and Lambda and cats and stuff.
It's all Greek.
Sure. Sing? Okay. It's been so long. Super driver, don't give up, 'cause la 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 la. I won't stop till I reach the top. Get ready, go.
I leaned in to follow up to support you with a beatbox, and then I didn't know. Well, it's okay.
We're gonna find another.
It's not. It's never too late. It's too late.
Never too late.
Oh, yes. Sorry for the rude point, but...
I was wondering, I know you played Flag in Rapid City Bus.
Yes.
It's not. It doesn't destroy my voice. It's very.
It's almost like I would compare it to Rob Paulson's Yakko. I'm not comparing it to. I'm just saying like the placement of the voice is probably similar. Oh wow, I'm digging a hole.
Oh, so many questions. How about over here? Yes.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
First of all, I'd like to say I'm really glad that you guys are here. You are a really big inspiration to me, especially because I want to get into voice acting myself. So my question is, since you guys are all very talented voice actors,
Oh, stop.
I was wondering.
How much was that? $20 or something?
I'm a broke college student. I have no money. But I was wondering, when you first started to get into voice acting, is there a particular character from the show as a kid that inspired you to become a voice actor?
Interesting.
For me, it was Sailor Moon. Yeah. That's my higher answer.
I would say for me, I used to run home from school to make sure I could get home right at 4 o'clock for Kimba the White Lion. Okay. Oh, great, thank you. And my inspirational character was Daniel the Baboon. Oddly enough, about 20 years later, somebody was trying to bring the show back, and we did a pilot episode, and what did they cast me as? Daniel the Baboon.
So funny.
Unfortunately, it sat on a shelf. It's never been produced again, but I was there going, yeah, I remember the voice. I remember doing it just like this. And so the director was excited. Oh, wow, we get it sounds just like him. Never ran.
Casey's. I mean, I grew up with all the Warner Brothers, all that stuff. I do for a living now what I used to get kicked out of school for, you know. Actually got kicked out of theater school for that. You said actor, the voice actor, and Paul and I both hit on this, and I think it's important. It's actor first, always. You know, I spent 4 years full-time classical theater training, you know, physical dance, blah, 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 blah. But I've always had dreamt of doing this thing because I have these voices in my head. I was in Disneyland, which I was obsessed with, and I finally managed to get myself and my family down there when I was 12, and I'm in the Haunted Mansion, and you hear Paul Frees's amazing, you know, that, welcome, foolish mortal. I found out that he was also the voice of the Pillsbury Doughboy, and something in my head went, bing! I'm not alone. And I went, that's what I want to do. I didn't think it would ever happen, but that was the moment. Thank you, Paul Frees. You know what we should do is whoever just got the last question, you have to stand up and then pick the next hand.
Oh, nice.
I love you too.
Let's see. You were raising your hand for a while.
Yeah, but she forgot her question by now. It's been so long.
Yes. My favorite part of playing Marinette? Oh, okay. So because I usually do like shows that like localization, so they've existed before. But for Ladybug, it was not a thing yet. So I got to see like, you know, the concept art, and when I learned about the show, I went online and there was like that anime trailer of it. So it was really exciting to see the fandom grow really from like, you know, just being excited about the PV and now how huge it's become. I think that's my favorite part, is being on the ground floor and watching the fandom develop. And it was really exciting when it was first released because I could finally talk to people about how amazing the show and the characters are. So that's my favorite part.
Life finds a way.
Yeah.
Another day, I'm back at school. I think about candy so cool. He looks at me, I look away, but does he see me anyway? La 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 la,
Kyle and I are going to be dropping some beats later. Actual beats.
Just get rid of them.
No. I'm a polyphonic prostitute. If you pay me, I will make those sounds.
You got paid for them all.
They're all golden. I don't work at McDonald's. I do not have to sweat for a living. It's all great.
Yeah, I suppose we can all say that we're roles we like the most and that sort of thing, but I'm an actor and I get work. And no, I don't dig ditches. So it's great to be able to do that. So it's hard to say roles we don't like, that sort of thing. Typically, I'm in love with everything I do, and I make sure the director and the writers know it too.
You get to pick the next one, son, so do stand up.
Sorry. This is for Scott. Are you planning on cosplaying this time?
You know, it's funny you should ask, That was kind of an odd accident. That was good friends of mine from Boston, just suddenly got before coming down here and went, we made you a Koga outfit. And I'm like, oh, it's gonna be awesome. And it was, but we went, how are we gonna get, because I know a lot of people here, and I do tend to be chatty. So we went, okay, so we got me pinned into this thing while I was sucking my gut in heavily. And put like people in my hat running in different directions and trying to run this blockage and this interference going, it's gonna be a madhouse. Walked into the convention center and it was like, if you want to penetrate the hive, dress as a bee. People that I have known for years were just coming up and going like, hey, fucking great cosplay, man, that's wicked. I'm like, what? It was absolutely a change of identity. I mean, it was just the perception was no longer, it was, I'm like, dude, I just signed your boob. We've known each other for years. I ceased to be anything other than just, what everybody else is, which is, that sounded really lame. But it was really cool, and it was tons of fun. And then when I came running into my panel, everybody kind of lost their mind, and then
Great, I was there for that panel.
yeah, it was fun. And I salute anyone that wears a Koga outfit because that fur skirt is a little on the itchy side.
Okay. So this one is for everybody. What's like a funny moment that happened in the booth?
It doesn't involve farting.
Well, mine only have farts involved,
Yeah.
so I mean,
Like a prank that one of the producers or somebody did.
There was one moment in Sword Art Online 2 when I was playing one of the Sleeping Knights. To set the voice, the casting director has to be in the room, but the casting director was not in the room. And so the character ended up sounding like this. It was like, hi, I'm June. But just to play a prank on the casting director, I was like, hi, I'm June. And so that got sent to her first. I never found out what she thought about the voice.
well, I was doing a show called Battle Beat 'em On, and does anybody know that?
Yeah.
Battle Beat 'em On, yeah. My character, who was Armada, was this big, huge, fluffy kitty,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, if you guys know the show, okay, I was the big kitty. And Armada sounded like this. I use this voice all the time, And they always talk about these other actors that when they do their first take, they always do a comic take, just for the fun, And so I was...
I'm killing this thing now.
Yeah, thank you. My heartbeats are increasing. I'm not sure is it reading me? So, and I don't do that. I tend to rehearse on the first take, or sometimes we do it in one take and it's the end of it, right? So they said, well, this other guy's really funny. I thought, okay, well, I'm going to do one. So I waited for my moment. Armada had this one scene where he was going to lead the kids through this tunnel to whatever was going on with the show, right? And if you think in terms of what you're watching on TV, the camera is pointing at the characters. And we talk about off camera and just as though it was a film or whatever. Well, Armada leans there, sticks his butt up into the camera, looks over to the kids and says, "Follow me, kids." You know? So I have 4 flaps. I thought, what can I do with this? So they got up, and sure enough, he sticks his butt in the camera, and I said, "Now sniff my ass." And they played it for every actor on the show for the entire week. It became, I mentioned that to Steve Bloom, he goes, "Oh my God, I forgot about that," because he worked on Beat 'em On too, you know.
We finished up Beast Wars. I mean, there are some very juicy outtakes that often occur spontaneously within the confines of the studio, where some of the forbidden words are used in colorful and creative manners.
From Seven Deadly Sins, what would her reaction be?
Well, I can tell you my reaction, having voiced both those characters. Hawk is one of my favorites. And working with Chris Kaysen, it's mostly just laughing through takes. So yeah, it's great. I'm glad I get to play so many different kinds of characters.
What would Mia react? What would her reaction be when she found out there's the same voice actor as?
This is so meta. I think she would just think it's cute. And probably would walk around making pig noises all day like I do, so.
Wouldn't she have a life crisis now knowing that she's not real?
She's not her real voice.
And everything she says is actually someone else, like a puppet? An existential crisis.
I can see that happening, actually, with that character. She's very nervous, so, yeah.
And Max, what was your favorite part when you voiced Hallelujah from Shin Megami Tensei Apocalypse? Shin Megami Tensei 4.
You voiced a character named Hallelujah?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I'll never forget how to spell hallelujah. That part right there. That was my favorite part of the whole thing.
What was your best line that you did, or like favorite moment that you did when you voiced
him? Hallelujah. It's really tough to think of a line from that character because I think we recorded it in one day, and so it's a lot of lines that come at you at one time. But this remains to be my favorite moment of the whole game.
Yeah. Because the question wasn't directed at me, I'm going to leave. I actually have a lava tech rehearsal to go to. If you guys are around tomorrow night at 6:30, hopefully we're gonna see if we can get the projector to work, and we'll actually have a show with me, Max, and Robbie Damon.
What kind of show is it?
It's an improv and sketch show with audience participation and prizes.
And remember, you could be sitting in the splash zone.
Oh, I want to go.
Cool.
Down here, please.